What's up, Meisterville? Welcome to episode 16 of the Creative Podcast. Might be 16, might be, I don't know. I've been recording all day, so if I got the number wrong, my bad. But we'll just keep it rolling. I'll correct myself later. We have one of the greatest cosplayers I have ever seen, Queen herself, team hashtag no kids, Miss Shogun Steel. How are you doing, ma'am?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, we got her up really early, so I apologize for that, man. But you still had the what's the word? The gumption. I don't know. That's very old school. Ugh, I sound like I'm from the 1960s. The gumption. Yeah, she still managed to find her patience and join us today. Thank you so much, Queen, for coming on the Creative Podcast and being the first Queen of the Creative Podcast. Hopefully, there'll be many more. I want to get as many people as I can on this thing, and I'm so happy that you took the time out of your day to join us.
You look-
Oh, geez, my audio cut out. Hello, hello.
Hello?
There we go. Ah, come on, Africa. Anyway, so Airdrie, Calgary, Canada. Right? Did I get that right?
Well, Andrew and Calgary, they're literally right beside each other, but that sounds about right, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was about to sound very ignorant. I was crossing my fingers.
Yeah, basically, Airdrie is a town that is kind of a half hour away of a drive from Calgary. So, I mean, because it's the fact that it's winter time, I'm trying to avoid Calgary as much as I can because of the roads and how bad they are.
Oh yeah, you guys have real snow. You guys got that Iceman snow. It's not even like that play snow. It's that real snow. Like it's
It's
that
the
go
real
outside
snow
and and
stuff,
then you, and then you go back inside the house as soon as you put your foot out the door. Yeah, we don't
basically.
we don't have real snow like, well, I don't know. Lesotho, which is a neighboring country of ours. Well, not even neighboring. They kind of, it's a weird situation because they're right in the middle of South Africa. So but they're there, but they're their own country. It's so strange. What it's, yeah, it's basically a Wakanda situation without the vibranium. It's a weird thing.
Mm.
But
Oh.
yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, they have real snow. So I don't know how we miss the snow, but we don't get, like, when we see snow, it's like kind of like some slush, and you're not going to be doing any like snowball fights or anything. You're practically picking up dirt. So I don't know.
Y'all are lucky, let's put it that way.
Some of us want some snow, not me personally.
Some of us do not.
Let's trade.
Oh
We'll do a
no.
draft. We'll do a draft. He can be honorary African, and then they can take someone from me.
Oh goodness.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't want to deport anybody. I might get in trouble for that. Who knows? So I see Stan Lee, I see Vegeta, and I see Deadpool in the back. that's a that's a real wide range of characters over there. Is that Vegeta?
Oh yeah, that's Regina right over there. So we
Ah,
got Stanley being surrounded by some of the Marvel Universe. We've got Vegeta. We've got Deadpool. I have one, two, three, four, probably six or seven Deadpool posters between my bathroom and here.
so you're a huge Deadpool fan, is what I'm getting from you.
I am. The first diamond painting that I did was actually Deadpool.
Oh yeah, you paint as well. I saw some of that on your Instagram.
Well, well, diamond paint. I don't paint
Oh,
paint. I
oh,
mean, it's just because with diamond painting, it actually kind of helps and kind of relaxes. So one of my head receptionist buddies who actually work with me at my workplace in the clinic, they had actually introduced me to the idea. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'll give it a go. And lo and behold, I finished it in like 3 or 4 days, I think. 3 or 4 days.
hmm. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like. So you work at a clinic?
Yes, I am a radiology receptionist when I am not cosplaying, being nerdy, watching movies, being a hermit. I have my 9 to 5 job as a receptionist.
Oh, but the sense that I'm getting is that you're pretty much enjoying it. It's like it's a pretty good job. That's what I'm getting from you.
Oh, it's been 5 years.
Oh, okay, so it's a really good job. Sheesh. I can't even imagine 1 year in my current job and 1 year is finishing. Like like I've always hopped from jobs. Sometimes not voluntarily. Like sometimes they made me hop. Like they kicked me out. but
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I've never actually imagined, like YouTube is the most consistent thing I've ever done in my entire life besides school, I guess. That's not mandatory
Mhm.
or whatever, like podcasting, content creation. That is the. It's been 4 years now that I've done that, but a job I can't even imagine like 2 3 years. So it's good that you found something that you enjoy. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, there are some days where I wish I didn't even have that job, but hey, what can you do?
No, we all have those days. I mean, there's days that I wish I didn't start this YouTube thing because I gave myself a crazy challenge. I attempted to finish Spider-Man PS4 in like 4 days with work and everything and edits and all of that stuff. It was madness. I was playing like
Oh,
30
wow.
minutes to 2 hours and editing for 2 hours. It was crazy. And then I was just like, why am I doing this? No one is making me doing this. No one's making me do this, but
And you
yeah.
sometimes wonder about those things to yourself. It's like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
And like ironic thing is, I put myself through all that punishment only to get like 2 views on a video. So it was just like, all right.
Oh, wow, that's rude. Oh.
No one cares when they don't know you. But hey, we keep chugging. That's how I know I love doing this stuff.
Exactly.
All right. So I had a couple of questions about cosplay. So you've got some really good cosplays. Like I saw your
Thank
one
you.
with Gwen. I saw your one with the Spider Gwen when you were when you were powerlifting or when you were lifting or whatever. Or was it powerlifting? I don't know. My exercise lingo
It
is whack.
was, it's squads. As an amateur bodybuilder, I jump from gym to gym, but I've been going to a private gym lately because of course, COVID. So, because of that, one of my buddies actually pointed out that there was a costume contest at a mainstream gym. I don't know if you've ever heard of Gold's Gym, right?
But no, I don't think I have. We don't have any Gold's gyms this side.
Yeah, so that's basically the gym I went to. Personally, I didn't give a damn as to whether or not I won this costume contest. I was stoked about working out in cosplay. So, yeah, there's that one. I've done Lady Death from Chaos Comics, Marvel, Domino from Marvel herself. I've done Storm.
Oh, I saw
I
that.
was
I
looking into
think.
doing yeah, I yeah, I was looking into doing Supergirl at one point, but I kind of scrapped that idea. I'm trying to focus towards more characters that have not been overdone completely, characters that have not actually been done a lot. That's where my main focus lies in terms of cosplay.
I can actually give you one that I don't think anybody's done in a, like, no, ever. Not well, not ever, but she's very it's very unknown. I think I don't think they've done it. Have you heard of Milestone Comics by any chance?
I have not, no.
All right. Well, if you watched the Static Shock cartoon by any chance, if you saw that, it was, I think it ran for 4 seasons.
Oh, yes, I know
Yeah.
of Static Shock.
So Static, yeah. Well, originally his name is Static. It's not Static Shock. They just called that for the show. So a lot of people confuse his name to be Static Shock, which I don't know. It can flip either way. But originally his name is Static, and he was created
Hmm.
by this team of Dwayne McDuffie, Dennis Cohen, Reggie Hudlin wasn't there. I'm trying to remember who else was there. There were two other guys. I keep forgetting their names. But anyway, so Reggie Hudlin is now heading Milestone 2.0. You should definitely look into that if you're into comic books, anybody who's watching. But yeah, So they created this whole universe of like characters, underrepresented people in comic books, basically. So it wasn't just black people. You also had Mexican people. You also had gay people. You had people who were transgendered. It was a whole thing where people were fluid in their gender stuff and whatever. The idea was to basically represent people who were underrepresented in comic books. And
Mm-hmm.
a big character they had was Icon, which is their equivalent of Superman. So Icon, quick story, came from space, landed on Earth, kind of Superman like, but instead of landing on a nice farm, he lands in a slavery plantation when that was still prevalent and going on heavily.
Mm-hmm.
So the first person that picks him up is a black woman, and he changes his skin color to become black because he thinks that's the inhabitant of the planet. Overtone,
Mm-hmm.
undertone over there. Take that however you like. But what happens is that now when he grows up, because he's impervious to everything, the slave masters try and do stuff to him, but they can't really hurt him at all because he's kind of like Superman, and he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
relate to what's going on with the slavery and everything. And then when he goes through life, he ends up in modern day, and he's a black conservative lawyer. So he's kind of a minority in a minority, sort of thing. It's crazy that
Mm-hmm.
way. And then his eventual sidekick, Rocket, she's running with some neighborhood hoodlums. She's very broke, very desperate, or whatever, or she's trying to impress a boyfriend or something, something to that effect. I haven't read this in a minute, so I'm just giving you a quick recap. Uh, but
No
yeah,
worries.
so she breaks into his house, and because he managed to acquire himself some wealth, not crazy wealth, but decent enough to live or whatever. Not that he needs it. He's just kind of waiting until the planet's technology catches up to his technology. And then what happens is that as she breaks into her house and everything, he gives her that speech because they run into each other, and he gives her that typical speech of, oh, how are you going to be taken? How can you say you're not a criminal when you're doing criminal activities or whatever? And then she kind of gives him a rundown of her neighborhood and her economic situation. Because let's face it, people don't always commit crimes because they're bad. Sometimes they commit crimes
Mm-hmm.
because they're broke.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I've never understood that thing of they're all just criminals. It's like, if you hungry, like, I'm a civilized human being, but I don't know what I'm gonna do if I was starving. Like, let's be real. Like, we're pretty fortunate to be where we are. See, things could be really different really quickly.
It's true.
So yeah, and then she galvanizes him to become Icon. She tells him that he can be a symbol for the neighborhood to do better, and maybe he can actually talk to neighbor because of the way he looks and the image that he represents and all of that stuff, which could
Mm-hmm.
outlast him long after he leaves the planet or whatever. So, and then you get Icon, and the girl who broke it, her name is Rocket. So if you look her up, that's a character that I don't think gets done enough, and a lot of people don't know about her. And she's a fantastic character. I mean, I think she even goes through like a teenage pregnancy story arc, which it shows her strength because she manages to do everything and still keep it pushing. It's not that thing of you
Mm-hmm.
need to have kids or whatever. It's just a situation that crops up in her life, and she deals with it, and she deals with it really
Yeah.
well. So yeah, that's what, if you're looking into not like very unknown characters or not so well known, I think that would be a good one to do.
Okay. I'll most certainly look into that one.
Yeah. Just Milestone Comics, and you'll find everything. And yeah, Static, that's where he got his origin from as well. Those were, I tell everybody that I can about those comic books. I've like DC has always been trying to catch up to Marvel in terms of the cinematic universe, and I'm always like, Milestone is the cheat code, because then you get everything. You get the superhero universe that's easy to put together. You get the black peoples, and you get the diversity. You win. Like, it's the
Mm-hmm.
ultimate. If you've ever played Yu-Gi-Oh, it's that demon monster card that Yugi used to play, or Yami used to play when he was
Yep.
supposed to end the episode.
Yeah, that's the one that always left the episode on a cliffhanger, and everyone's like, "What the hell?" sort of thing.
Yeah, but I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh in high school. Those were some rough days. It was very, very competitive, and you used to get real sad when they took your cards. Like this one kid, I took his cards, and man, he was so sad. Almost wanted to give them back, but I was like, those are the rules of the game, sir.
Oof.
Nah, it was rough in the schoolyard. So when did you start cosplaying actually?
Let me see. I started cosplaying in 2013. So it would have been April 24th of 2013, I think. It was basically one of the weekends of Calgary Expo. So, long story short, it's been 7 years since I've been cosplaying.
Sheesh, that's a vet in the game. Yo, I gotta give you props for that. Like, geez, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, do you have any particular
Yeah.
favorites? Like, do you have a top five of your cosplays? Like, five cosplays that were your
Top
favorites?
top five. Of course, the first one would be Comic Book Domino.
Uh huh.
Second one would be I'm gonna have to say the Dragon Ball Z Stormtrooper. That was another of my favorites. There was Nightwing. I still have Nightwing hung up in the back there. The Blood Elf, that particular cosplay was not mine, but it was lent to me by one of the photographers I had worked with at the time. Let me see. That was four, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
think that was
four.
four. Okay. Last one. Crap. Last one. I'm gonna say Black Widow just because I got to carry around the Nightwing Eskrima sticks as well. Because I don't have any Black Widow tongs or batons or whatever,
Oh,
so I
okay.
have to, yeah,
Well,
get
I mean,
myself a pair.
it works for the costume. I can see it. Like people who don't know won't know the difference. And I mean, there's always those guys like that's not comic book accurate. Like, uh, not everything has to like calm down. Have a cookie, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
same,
I
same,
don't see you knowing
same.
enough to cosplay anyway, so
And same dudes who's gonna be like, Black Widow is not black. It's like, yeah, all right, whatever. Like, first off, she doesn't
she is
exist.
today.
And I mean that's a costume. Like I never under like I've talked to several cosplayers. Just don't put on like blackface and you can be a black character. Like if a white dude wants to
Mm-hmm.
shave his head, wear a yellow t-shirt and say sweet Christmas, I don't think anybody's gonna throw any hands over that. Like I don't think anybody's gonna get mad if a white dude wanna do a Luke Cage cosplay.
Exactly. I mean, put it this way, like when I was first getting into Bayonetta, the Nintendo Switch slash like PS3 game at the time, I was looking into ways to do some of her cosplays. On Google, I noticed that there was a white cosplayer. He didn't shave his head or anything. Basically, he was portraying Rodan, her weapon stealer, and plus like the hell spawn or whatever. So it's just like you said, you don't need to cover your face in blackface. You just need to cosplay the character and enjoy doing it and not risk yourself getting morally beat up by a large group of black men. So there's that too.
I'm just I just had a funny visual of just dudes in at cons, like they're not even dressed in anything, they're just scanning the crowd waiting to sneak people.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
hilarious.
The
It's like you just have like a shadow just across the face. It's like what the hell was that? He's down.
I could totally see that.
Oh man, that sounds like an amazing sketch. If I ever get to do it one day, that would be awesome.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, actually maybe not because then I might get canceled. So never mind. I might just throw that out the way. No,
Oh my God.
if I'm giving white people permission to be in cosplay to get knocked out, people might miss the joke. So never mind. Yeah, I mean these days you gotta kind of play the game, and I mean for me, I'm not one of those dudes that complain. If I have an idea and it might offend people, I got so many ideas anyway. I can afford to throw some ideas out. It's just
Hmm.
the way my brain works. So I just wanted to know what was your first taste of nerd culture? Like how did you get into this whole thing? Like what's the origin story? Was it a cartoon? Was it a comic? What made you
Wasn't cartoon. It was multiple cartoons, everything from Powerpuff Girls to
mm,
Beast
mm, mm, mm,
Wars
mm,
to,
mm,
oh
mm.
no, not even Beast Wars. Beasties and then Beast Wars. Yeah, there was a multitude of cartoons and quite a few comics. I grew up on Nina Thurman, aka Domino from Marvel Universe. I mean, personally for me, yes, I am one of those sticklers when it comes to Domino. Like, for example, we all know that in the comics, she basically has that black patch over her left eye. Now, of course, Marvel ruined it and made it a white patch, whereas it was apparently vitiligo. I'm like, no, this is not, no. Like, the only reason why I got to be a stickler when it came to the white eye patch is because it's basically what I've grown up with as a kid. Domino Comics, like, it's not even the fact that let's put it this way, Zazie Beetz, with her role, like as an actress, as a person, she's wonderful. She did really good with acting. Most people from what I've seen, it's just like they commented on social media stating, oh, she's not black. She's supposed to be a pale white woman. And I'm sitting there like, anybody can portray the character. As long as they can act, that's all I care about.
Well, I
It's
mean,
just the only thing.
even then, she's kind of pale blue. So, like that's
It
not
kind of
what
depends
that.
in the comics.
But I mean, I've looked at a lot of those panels. That is not natural white skin. That is something. That's a mutation on its own. Like I don't
That's a
think white people.
mutation on
Yeah,
its own.
I don't think white people. You got the exclusive rights to Domino. I've seen a lot of those comic books. I don't think.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
Oh,
no
that
worries.
was my mom. Mhm.
Oh, okay. Hi, mom.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, I was just saying, like Domino kind of looks like one of those characters that's not that it's racially ambiguous. I don't think that's a skin color on the real life scale. So for me, that didn't bother me so much. So I mean, I know about being a stickler because I've been a comic book fan ever since I was 8, and I definitely know a lot about Domino and all of that stuff. And I love
Mhm.
the portrayal that Zazie Beats did do, but I can understand a lot of Domino fans being like, man, can't she just look like she did in the comics? Especially in such a comic book accurate movie like Deadpool. So
Oh my God, absolutely. It's just with the fact that yes, I'm a stickler because I'm biased. Yes, this is what I grew up with, so this is what I expect to see. I'm not seeing it, so I'm gonna be a little bit distraught as to why it's not being portrayed on the big screen, especially when, for example, the main character himself, Deadpool, basically he looks the way like he does in the comic book. Why can't they do that with Domino? But of course, Hollywood is just like, oh no, we're gonna spice it up a little bit. And it's like, no, why would you do that? No.
well, at least you're
And it's
more.
like,
At least you're reasonable though. Like you've said your grievances and you've said why you're upset. And I mean, at least you're not people who send death threats.
those people are crazy, let me tell you. It's just like, why send Death Stars to an actress just because they are portraying someone from a comic book?
I mean, like, I'm just. What was that? What would that jail conversation be like? Like, I don't know if you've heard. I was talking to Nerds in Hip Hop, Joshua Brown from Nerds in Hip Hop, and we were just laughing about it. I was just like, in jail for somebody that doesn't even exist. Like,
Hmm.
really? Because a lot of people don't
That makes no
understand.
sense
Death
to
threats
me.
can get you locked up. Like, as far as I know, especially here, death threats can get you locked up. Like, you can't threaten somebody's life just because you're
Absolutely
anonymous on the
not.
internet. Like, I get being mad. I'm mad about a lot of things. Like personally, if you Black Batwoman, I'm not a fan simply because I know there's other Black women characters that they could have done that need to get shine time and all of that stuff. Vixen is a big one because Vixen is criminally underrated. I hate how underused she is. It's just it gets on my nerves. And then they want to be like, we're being inclusive, and I'm like, no, are you really, or are you really just slapping over some black skin on a white character? Like, let's be real.
Inclusive? No, you're not.
But that being said, I'm not about to. First off, I'm way too busy anyway. I got so much stuff going on anyway. And then, so I feel like if you got time to send death threats, you have literally nothing going on in your life. Like even like
Mm-hmm.
I saw recently on one of your posts that irritated me. This dude who left a long Bible comment, who like who's gonna read that? First of all, he sat there for 20 minutes typing this long Bible about how you should have kids or something like that, or there's this book you can read. And I was like, dude, first off, have you not followed this page long enough to know that she's not interested? And second of all, who are you? And third of all, don't you have stuff to do? Like, why are you so concerned about someone else's life? Like,
I mean, let's put it this way. Apparently in this day and age, it's like society looks at us females as we call it, baby makers. So we are obliged to pop out babies whenever the men feel like it. So well, that's from what I've seen anyway. I know not a lot of courtships or marriages are like that. Usually it's a mutual agreed decision, but in some cultures, having kids is like a must. So, long story short, that was one of the reasons why I decided to get my sterilization done because I'm not about to be put in a situation where I have a deadbeat baby father that I do not like, and B, I'm basically stuck with someone for my entire life, whether I'm with them or not.
well, in my personal opinion, it's your body. I have why am I interested? Like I've
Thank
always
you.
said this to people who always wanted to say things about female bodies. I'm like, all right, why don't you make it mandatory to get your penis snipped when you're 30? Watch that rule change. Like let somebody take a scissor down there every time when you're 30 years old. Whenever you're 30 years old,
Mhm.
like you don't have any control of that. That's just the rule, and you have no say in that. Watch that rule change. Everybody gonna be talking about
Oh,
my
yeah.
body, my choice. Like, yeah, okay. No,
It's
no, no,
like
no.
it isn't a big thing to a man when a female says that to them. It's just like, oh, you'll change your mind. What if you meet the one someday and he wants kids and X, Y, and Z? But yeah, change the rules and then it becomes the man's problem.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's what I think. I'm into treating people the way I like to be treated, and personally,
the golden rule.
I don't like people to try and control how I look, what I do, and all of that stuff. So vice versa, I'm not gonna do the same thing. And also, I'm too busy living my own life to really worry
Thank
about
you.
other people's decisions. So like,
Exactly my point.
I mean, and then to the all right, and we're back.
I have no idea what happened just now.
One of the incel people who wants kids cut off our feet.
I call them breeders.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, just like, and I mean, even to bring that back to just the death threats thing, like, to me, you're a loser. I'm sorry, you're a loser. Yeah, you know how Trump says you're a loser. You're a loser. Like he lost
With
his
fingers.
election. Well, he's a loser. Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah,
I don't understand that, and I'm just like, dude, just find something else to do. I and also personally, I never understand following people you don't like. That's never made any sense to me ever since I've been on the internet. Like I was 13 years old, and I remember PewDiePie released a video and it bothered me. I didn't know why it bothered me, but it really did, and I just unsubscribed to him, and I've never subscribed to him
yep.
since, and I was just
And
done.
it's fair. So basically, with me, it's like one of two things. I either unfollow completely or I just mute. It's like you are still being graced with my presence, but I don't give a damn about you.
Like it's that simple. I tell this to anybody anytime. If I ever do something that you don't like and you want me to stop doing it and I don't stop doing it,
Tell me to
please.
my face.
Or even I'm saying online as a personality, please unfollow. Like you don't have to be here. I'm not putting a gun to your face. I'm not saying, look, man,
Exactly.
if you unsubscribe, man, I'm gonna that's not what I'm doing. Just unsubscribe and we'll go our separate ways, and I'll live in my universe, you live in yours, and we don't have to ever collide, because I'm not about this kumbaya
Exactly.
with people who don't want to kumbaya. If you don't want to kumbaya, why am I
Mm-hmm.
here? I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm definitely digging all of your energy and all of that stuff as well. So yeah, we were talking about cartoons. I don't know how we got to um controversies, but I'm such a controversial person anyway, so
Hmm.
it usually winds up there, and then I end up throwing a black power fist randomly for no reason.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so you said Powerpuff Girls, so a lot of Cartoon Network, a lot of Nickelodeon, a lot of Disney.
Yeah, a lot of Cartoon Network, a lot of Nickelodeon, not well, Disney here and there, not so much. A lot of YTV, a lot of Teletoon, all of these channels that used to play, that used to be really good. And then I don't know what happened. Everything just took a nosedive into the deep abyss of nothingness. Don't
Yeah,
know what
like the
happened.
I don't know the
So,
cartoons. Well, okay, well, prepare for the okay boomer comments. But anyway, a lot of the cartoons nowadays, I don't know. Like they don't feel like they have a point. Like I feel like they are kind of just like Johnny Test is a new one that I tried to watch, and I really couldn't get into it because it just felt like it was noise for noise sakes. And I like, I mean, a show that I actually did like was a regular show, but I mean, they were on drugs when they made that show, so I guess that's what it takes to
yep.
make good cartoons.
Gotta be on drugs to make a good cartoon.
I mean, a lot of those cartoons though, like Dexter's Lab, they have a whole thing about talking about a drug deal in like Koi Code or whatever, where it's like we're gonna make so much dough when we move this or something like that. It was like a segment that somebody put on YouTube, and I was like, I remember that episode. Oh, okay, that's what they
Hmm.
were talking about. And then they wonder
Yeah,
why we're so
Dexter's
messed
Lab
up
was
as a
actually one of
generation.
my favorites as a kid. Uh,
Oh well, I don't attribute us being messed up to cartoons. I attribute us being messed up to bad examples that we grew up around.
mhm.
All right. So another thing I know you for is anime. I've seen a lot of your anime posts. I love a lot of your anime posts. I love that post of that meme of Megan Thee Stallion and Michael B. Jordan where she's correcting him about Naruto. Is that another thing you're a stickler for?
Oh my God. Yes, yes, absolutely. If you get it wrong, I will correct the hell out of you.
So
I will. Oof. It's
yeah, no,
like
I had a
most people
buddy.
are
I had a
like,
buddy who called him Naruto, and I was like,
no, no, no,
and I was trying
no.
not to be that guy
Mm-mm.
in the group. I was trying. I was like, it's it's Naruto. It's Naruto. Not.
Yeah, and you're looking at them and side-eyeing them like, that's not how you say that.
Because he was new to anime, and I just put him onto it, and it had just finished, so he got the beautiful experience
Couldn't
of
you put
skip.
him on with the correct
I
pronunciation,
did,
good
I
sir?
did, I did, I did.
He obviously forgot. It's like it's like when I hear people say Naruto or Naruto, and it's like, gosh, it's Naruto. Yeah. It's like I have to correct
It's
them.
so
I'm a
easy.
stickler
It's
for
so
that.
easy. Why are you getting his name wrong?
Man,
Naruto. That's it.
basically.
Ah, ah, yeah, but I mean, yeah, no, that was that anime. That was the first anime I actually cried in. Like Dragon Ball Z, I was a huge fan of it, but it was like a lot of action packed stuff. And I never
Hmm.
like, the closest I got is when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2. That's the closest I got to like shedding a tear. No, I also say when Goku went Super Saiyan 1 when they killed Krillin. Because I was like, that's the first time
Yeah.
I had seen somebody die in a cartoon. I've never like, or in an animated property. Like Dragon Ball
Mhm.
Z was actually pretty wild. They were decapitating people and stabbing people through the chest, and it was a lot of stuff going on. But you
Oh,
didn't
don't forget
register it.
chopping off Piccolo's arm, apparently.
Oh yeah, hey, Piccolo loses arms every week.
Every week. I'm actually probably still shook at the fact that he probably has like a pile of his dead. armed corpses in a closet somewhere to
Yeah,
keep
he's
him
just
out of
like
the way.
it's like it's a Pez dispenser of arms. He's just like, okay, brah. And it's like, really, bro? When they like, can we keep the arm this time at least? Yeah, no.
Hmm.
But yeah, Dragon Ball Z was super action packed, but Naruto was the first one that like I legit bawled. And the first time I'll never forget it was the episode with Zabuza and Haku when Zabuza was when Zabuza was dying, and Naruto was like, first Naruto gives him that whole spiel, and then after that they carry the body and everything, and I just cried. I was just like, but why am I crying? He's a villain. I don't get it. What's happening with my emotions? I don't like
A
this.
lot of people think that just because a person's a villain does not mean that they can cry for them. A person becomes a villain for a reason. I mean, like for example, let's stray a little bit from anime. The Joker, we all know that he was trying comedy acts to get some money for his family, and then of course he got swined, I usually say, into a bad situation with a couple of these bad guys, and ends up getting tossed into a big container of ooze slash toxins, whereas he comes out looking like the Joker and basically goes berserk. So
I mean, again, not defending the Joker or anything, but I'm just saying it's understandable that where he kind of and that like a lot of people talk about Batman's. We're going in many directions, but you know, Meisterville, that's how we do it on this podcast. But yeah, a lot of people talk about like Batman's no killing rule and all of that stuff, but a lot of his villains are like people who have like mental traumas and stuff. So Batman has to fight him,
mhm,
sure, but I mean, he's also doing the best he can to rehabilitate him. Like I like a lot of deconstructions of Batman where people say that Batman is the one that creates the villains or whatever. But I'm just like, first off and foremost, like can we cut that argument out? Because superheroes come from a response. Like superheroes get
mhm,
created. They don't just create themselves and then continuously create stuff. I mean, Batman's parents get killed, so he becomes Batman. Like I'm pretty sure in terms of causality, they would have been an equivalent to the Joker eventually in Gotham with how crazy
exactly.
Gotham is. So let's stop blaming superheroes. Like already superheroes got it tough. Now you want to say they're the reason they create the villains, sounding like J. Jonah Jameson. It's like what do you want to happen? Okay, because like the mafia was killing the same amount of people as the Joker before the Joker came along. The Joker just added a lot of color
Mhm.
and smiles. Like that's the only difference, in my personal opinion, anyway.
That sounds about right. I mean, if you think about it, just it's always a bad and terrible situation that makes someone either a hero or a villain. It's like you said, it comes from a response of what the people need or what the people want, but at the same time, you don't see a villain becoming a villain just because they can.
Yeah, yeah. I can't actually think because usually those villains suck. I can't actually think of a
Yeah.
villain who's a villain for villainous sakes.
Yeah, for example, like even something as simple as like the box ghost from Danny Phantom. It's like he's, I mean, I got mixed feelings about that one. He is either the box ghost because either A, something happened to him in a containment of some kind, or B, he was just becoming the box ghost just to be a dick. So
I am the box
just probably because he was
ghost.
bored or something. Yeah, I am the box
I
ghost.
love.
And I will throw all these things at you that will probably pummel you into submission.
I actually love the box ghost so much. I love that episode where he powers up and he gets Pandora's box and everything, and then you only find out like Pandora's a pretty good chill person.
Mhm.
That was a nice little twist. But yeah, getting back to anime, yeah, like that Naruto was just it was a phenomenon, and a lot of people now are wanting to deconstruct it, and they're like, Naruto's not as good as you think. It's like I can probably find something that you think is not as good as you think it is, or whatever. Like Game of
Mhm.
Thrones, and I know I'm gonna be in hot water for this, so or maybe not because everybody hates it now. So I'm gonna say this anyway. But Game of Thrones broke its own rules. You want to know why? Because Tyrion Lannister survives things that he shouldn't. And I thought that show was all about killing off your favorite characters, Mr. George R. R. Martin.
It's true. And it's just like basically, even George R. Martin's wife, I think he was supposed to kill off a certain character. And even she said, she's just like, if you kill this character off, I'm divorcing you. I'm like, this
God.
is some serious stuff. I'm like, you gonna divorce your husband for a
For a fake
multi-million
character?
show for a fake character? I was shook to my core. I'm like, wow, I was shook.
That's the first I heard of that. Jeez. If you
Yeah,
kill
it's
if you
yeah,
kill
it
her,
was
I'm
one of the
taking
things
half
I
of your
was
stuff. Well, what?
basically, it was something I was reading on social media around the time when Game of Thrones was really big. I think one of the main reasons why people hate it now is because there are no more seasons that have played.
Sorry?
I
Hello?
think that's one of the main reasons why people hate it now because
Oh,
it was such a good show. I mean, even for me, I'm not really into shows like that unless it's like a gameplay of like God of War or
yeah.
Valhalla or something. But other than that, I'm not really into shows like that. I'm mainly the anime slash, I guess, like live action movie type of
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Mine is Dragon Ball Evolution. I didn't even bother to watch that after the trailer.
Sorry,
I
I
couldn't
get
even
physically
finish
ill
the
when
trailer.
anybody says that. I get physically ill.
Oh my God. It's like I couldn't even stomach the rest of the trailer, so I had to like click out of
Oh,
my
I saw the
YouTube. I'm like,
movie. Forget about the trailer. I saw the
you did
movie.
what?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I didn't see anything, so I thought, okay, maybe this is a cool, or I don't know. I was like young or whatever. I don't know. It was just
You
something to
thought
watch.
wrong.
Oh, and halfway into the
Hey,
movie, I was so mad. I like, I think I was like 10 years old, and I was like, wait, where's Krillin? Where's Vegeta? What is this? Like, this is not the story of how Goku beats Piccolo, and this acting is so
like,
whack. Oh my gosh. I I think that's the movie that ruined live action movies for me. I think I haven't seen a live action anime since. Like, I haven't seen one since that
what
movie.
was the one that ruined it for me other than that one? Of course, it would have had to have been Avatar. Not talking about the blue guys.
Oh yeah.
Avatar, it was that one. Other than
I
that
saw
one,
that
oh
too.
my God, live action Death Note.
I did not see that. I skipped that. Ooh, I dodged
You
that
don't ever want
smooth.
to see it.
I dodged that
You
like
dodged
I
it.
dodged
Let's
that like I was Neo in the Matrix. I saw that thing coming and I was like, no.
it's just like Light Yagami is supposed to be a Japanese kid, not some white kid. So,
And he's not supposed to be a dude who does it because he wants a girl. Like, y'all missed the entire point. I saw that trailer and I was like, really? Really? And I
the
mean,
only thing I enjoyed out of that entire movie was the CGI'd Ryuk. That's the only thing I
that
enjoyed.
looked good. That looked good. But other than
Oh, it
that,
looked
it was like,
great.
yeah, other than that, that was I was not interested at all. Oh my gosh,
A
because
turd that
Netflix doesn't
someone
handle
forgot
a
to
lot of
flush
anime stuff
down the
well.
toilet.
Netflix
Hmm.
doesn't handle a lot of anime stuff well. I mean, remember
They
Jaden
really
Smith's
don't.
anime? Did you see that? The Toblerone.
Oh, I didn't even bother to watch that. Lord have mercy.
I tried. I wanted to support because I like Jaden. I like Jaden. I think Jaden cool. So I tried to support, but that voice acting, whew, and the plot made no sense. And all I remember is a big Toblerone. I don't know what the Toblerone
Yeah,
has to do with anything. That's all I remember. uh,
a big Toblerone.
Yeah, like it's a thing in the anime. Neo Yukio or something. Neo Yukio or something. I don't know. Like he was just carrying Toblerones or whatever, or swinging Toblerones, or beating people over the head with Toblerones. Like here's your chocolate sucker. I don't know.
Wow.
So definitely avoid that one because even the voice acting was terrible and the animation was terrible. It was just a whole. I love you, Jaden man, but that was just no good. That was just no good. It's like Travis Scott
Hmm.
and when he cosplayed as Batman. It's like I love you, Travis, but that brown roach man thing, not it, fam.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if you saw that. Like, oh, people had a field day with him. Whew. I think it's alleged that he deleted his Instagram because of it. But I was like, yo, they were flaming him. I mean,
I don't blame him. If it looks
to be fair
bad, it
though,
looks bad.
I got one in. I got one in. I love you, Travis, but I got one in. I'm sorry. I said he looked like Night Owl 1.0.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, geez, back to Naruto. So, for you, what was Naruto like growing? Like, do you have like Actually, this is a better question. Do you have like a top five episodes if you can remember from Naruto? Like, do you have like favorite episodes? Naruto Shippuden.
And this Naruto Shippuden. I mean, the first top episode for me, I'm gonna say that most of these were all in Shippuden. I mean, everybody loves the original Naruto, but I personally preferred Shippuden because that's where mainly most of the bigger things happen. I mean, everybody is familiar with the ending battle in Naruto where Sasuke gives up his headband and basically goes off into the night.
I just want to put a
Um,
pin in that
that
quickly. I want to put a pin in that
uh,
quickly. A lot of people say that Naruto just lost that fight, but people forget that Sasuke was in a box chilling and that Naruto had to
mhm,
fight his way all the way there. You know what I'm saying? And I know people are gonna go like, "Hey, Fox, the fox, the fox," but the fox doesn't do like it doesn't heal like physical damage and all of that stuff. It closes wounds up and stuff to help him live, but he's still in pain. So Naruto didn't
mhm,
lose that this. You got to remember, Sasuke was way fresher than Naruto. Okay, in round one and round two, because in round two Naruto had fought a whole war. So don't be telling me that stuff that Sasuke is stronger than Naruto. Maybe more skilled, but he's not more in terms of raw power Naruto all the way. Sorry, it's just it's a thing that I fight in
yeah,
forums all the time. Like I have that fight in forums all the time. So I just wanted to clear it up right now. Continue.
yeah. Personally, for me, I'm not one who makes a big stink about certain things in forums. This is why I'm not even a part of certain forums, just so I can avoid the naysayers and people who are in their feelings. And it's like, ugh, I cannot with you.
Sorry, yeah, you were talking about your favorite episodes from Shippuden. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say there was one episode where Naruto was saving in Shippuden, where he was saving someone from a boat and off of water, and I
Oh
think
yeah,
he
yeah,
did
yeah.
like a comical cry. Yeah, he did like a comical cry where it was something that I would just burst out laughing for. I don't know. I just found that episode so funny. But yeah, he ended up saving this person. There was another one where of course he ran into the ginormous gorilla looking Naruto imposter in a forest,
Hmm.
and
I remember that.
the guys were just like, if you don't beat this guy, he's the new Naruto. And he's looking at him like, are you serious? Bitch, are you serious? I mean, if I was in that spot as well, I'd be like, but I'm the real thing. I'm standing right here.
It's my name. Like it's on my underwear. Like he can't take that. I remember
Basically.
that
And
episode.
even yeah, and even the gorilla looking dude, he had the leaf symbol backwards. And Naruto was just like, wait a minute. Right after he just finished asking, who are you? And then he looks at the leaf symbol, he looks at the hair and the like basically the entire attire, and he's like, oh my God, are you serious?
I remember that. That was a fun episode. I remember that. Do you have any like major events?
Um, Major events out of the entire show for me, A was with the Great War with Toby, where basically I'm going to say where Team Seven comes back together and they basically come together to defeat the forces of evil. Another one would have been when Hinata gets killed and Naruto goes berserk and the Nine Tails basically gets formed and nearly pops out. And then his father pops out of nowhere in ghost form and touches his back. He's like, that's enough, son. I'm like,
Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
that sent chills down my spine because he was literally this close to becoming the Nine Tails. Basically, a ball of energy forms, whereas the head of the nine tails before it grows fur pops out. So basically, a naked mole rat nine tails pops out, and you see like he's forming, and then the dad puts his hand on Naruto, like, that's enough, son. I'm like,
Mm. Man, the fourth Okage, I wish we got to see more of him. Man, the fourth
mm-hmm,
Okage, I wish we got to see more of him. Because the other thing is, like, he seemed like a good dad, but anime has some sort of rule where dads are not allowed to be alive. Like, moms sometimes make it, like, they got a reverse Disney rule or whatever. Like, you know how Disney, the moms never survive? In anime, the dads are either deadbeats, or if they're good dads, they die.
basically, sounds about right.
No, anime has some of the most some of the most ancient daddies I've ever seen. Anime's dads are trifling. Oh my gosh, they
They
just
really
up
are.
and leave. Like, because a lot of people look at Goku, and I know he's not a great example, but I always say at least Goku was there. At least Gohan and Goten knows what he looks like, as opposed to Hunter x
Mm-hmm.
Hunter, where Gon has to go on a journey to find some dude he doesn't even know what this dude looks like.
Exactly.
And he just ditched him in the
Exactly.
middle of the forest. I was like, yo.
And even with, like, for example, Attack on Titan, it's just like, I don't know if you've seen it, but
Yeah, yeah,
long
yeah.
story short, the reason why Aaron became a Titan is because his dad placed the injectable into his bloodstream, which of course then turned him into a Titan, and then left the key to the basement around Aaron's neck. How far are you in Attack on Titan right
Oh no,
now? Or are you
I'm
all
pretty
caught
much
up?
caught up, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty much caught up. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you can go ahead.
basically the key to Aaron's dad's basement, it has a lot of stuff as well as his journal. So basically, all of what leads up to when he finally goes into the basement, he basically goes along to hate his dad because that's what he did to him. Imagine living your life and then this ginormous event happens to you where you transform into something only to find out that the reason you transformed into this thing is because of your dad.
And now he's also got like a couple of years left to live or whatever, because Titans don't live
Yep.
long. I was like,
Titans don't live long. So it's like when I found that out, it's like A, rude, B, didn't didn't Erwin just become a Titan? Everyone's like, Nani? No, it's because it's just like right when Aaron finds out that he has a couple years left to live, or how many have you that he has left to live, of course, he doesn't give the injectable to the major or the sergeant or whoever. He gives it to Erwin.
yeah, 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 yep, yep.
Yeah.
So now,
And then I'm thinking, and then I'm thinking to myself now, it's like, okay, so the two boys are Titans. What happens to Mikasa now?
yeah, yeah. And also for me personally, the thing is with Attack on Titan, and I'm about to cook myself hard. Maybe you might even flame me a little bit. Who knows? But like with Attack on Titan, I kind of felt like, well, I don't know if they've gotten to this part. I don't know if they've gotten to this part yet, because I also read the manga as well. But they kind
Hmm.
of got, yeah, so they kind of got to a part where Eren kind of gets self-important, like way more self-important than normal, and a lot of people really like that about the character. But for me personally, he's kind of embodying that thing of, like, someone literally says this: Eren has Eren has no enemies. He just moves until all his enemies are destroyed. And I was like, you really thought you were saying something? That comes out of a fortune cookie, sir. That is
Yeah, it really
cheap
does.
Chinese. That is a cheap Chinese restaurant that is Chinatown fortune cookie. That's all that is. That makes no sense. So I was just like, yeah,
Hmm.
he became more self-important as a character, and I liked it when he was crazier. Like, everybody likes his progression now. I liked his progression from before, because I liked the idea of him sacrificing everything to fight the Titans versus putting the
Hmm.
world in chaos because of what his dad did or whatever. It just didn't sit right with me personally.
Exactly.
Yeah, but getting back to Naruto, um, I've always wanted to ask a female this, because I've never had I've never been able to interact with females who actually like the show, because
Hmm.
nerd. Like, I was not the ladies' killer in high school. Still not the ladies' killer right now. much to my dad's chagrin. But you know, what can I do about that? I'm trying not to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be respectable and respect boundaries, and it doesn't really leave much room for adventure. You know, I'm always waiting for the
Mm-hmm.
invite. I'm like, can I? Is it cool? Is it cool? That's kind of me. But I always wanted to ask, what are your thoughts on Sakura?
One word, progression. She's really progressed. She's come a long way. And the thing is, it's just like what I really thought was trifling is the fact that she told Sasuke's daughter, "Oh yeah, I'm your mom, no problem," when it's actually the redhead who
Is
was
that confirmed?
the kid's mom. Well, it's all I can say is it's a possibility. It has been thrown out there that Sasuke was kind of trifling. Two women, two women.
Is that because I know that was floating around, but I didn't even know because if that's the case, yo, come on.
Trifling.
Because
And
I
I'm
mean,
looking,
for
I
me,
even,
Sakura, like a lot of people talk about Sakura haters project their feelings onto Sakura, but I'm just like, for me, it's just kind of logic. It's kind of just logic. Like
mhm,
y'all, like first off, this like when she's a kid, fine, I get it. But when she's grown and she's supposed to be like a ninja, and you know she's supposed to be thinking about the village and whatever, she tries to go kill Sasuke by herself, and and Sasuke tries to kill her, and then after that she still has the very same feelings for Sasuke, to the point where we get to the end of the series, right? And Sasuke's talking about his crazy plan of world domination, where he's going to be a Hokage from the shadows or whatever, and he's just going to live
mhm.
forever, as whatever the plan is there. And then she has a moment, like she has a moment where she can just Sakura can just tell Sasuke where to get off, like most females would. Like most females who have put up with the man's nonsense. There's gonna be a point. Like there has to be like a cap where you're just like, all right, sir, enough. You need to sit your punk ass down. Like then there
Yep.
has to be a moment, right? And then she didn't have it. She just goes into the same spiel about loving Sasuke. And I was like, this dude tried to kill you. He didn't even attempt to save you during the war. And now he has a crazy plan of world domination. And Naruto is the only one that can stop it. And you literally have a moment, not to fall in love with Naruto because I thank God that didn't happen. But I'm just saying, just to tell Sasuke that he has to earn your trust back, that he has to earn your love back. Like you can't just give it to him. Like at this point,
If it
Sasuke
were
could back.
me, if it were me, Sasuke would have been getting an earful and he never would have heard from me again. Never.
Never, never, never.
Nope, not in a million years. I do not take well to fuckboys, especially ones who tried to kill me. I think not, sir.
I'm just saying, like people always argue, and I get chicks, I get women. Oh, I don't know what the term is anymore. I might get canceled for that. Who knows? But I get women who come at me when I talk about Sakura, like no, and I'm just like, first, I'm just talking about as a logical human being. Let's take the gender out of it. Let's just let's
Yeah.
just make this gender neutral. If somebody abuses you for years and then tries to kill you at some stage, shouldn't you at least tell them that where to get off? Just at least tell them that they're trifling, at least tell them something, and then let them
Tell them
work
to kick
to earn
rocks.
or at least let them work their way back into your life or whatever. You don't just give them the access key. Like Sasuke can literally backhand Sakura in some stage, and Sakura will just be like, "Oh, I ran into his fist." It's like, no, ma'am, seek help.
Seek help, indeed. It's like, yes. I mean, relating that to a real world thing right now, yes, abuse is a most definitely a thing that should not be. But at the same time, some of these men or women cannot control their tempers when they are trying to deal with certain situations. Their partners are trying to help them, and the partners get the brunt of it all. So it's like, if like okay, going completely off topic for a second. Like you've heard of the Steve Wilkos show, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so one of the main topics on there is, of course, about abuse. And then, of course, the abuser is here saying, oh, I didn't hit her. Oh, I didn't do this. Lie detector test comes about. Turns out they did. So obviously, it's like I can see why some women do stay in a abusive relationship. Some of it's for the kid, most of it's for the love, and they just put themselves second. So I could actually see somewhat why Sakura was in a mindset where she still loved him because she believes in love. She believes in, like you say, kumbaya, but I most certainly do not. If a man were to put his hands on me, it would be the very last thing that he'd do. Let's just put it that way.
I've seen you bench, so I know for sure. He getting hands.
Absolutely. These hands are E for everyone.
I
E for
love it.
everyone.
I
I
love
don't
it. I
care
love
who.
it. I love it. I love it. No, man.
I don't
I
care
mean,
who.
I've seen like some certain situations. Thank God, like the people that I hang around, all the dudes that I hang around, they're not into that stuff. They don't do that stuff at all. And we check each other when we're out of line when it comes to certain things as
Hmm.
well. Even when we're talking about women, we check each other and all of that stuff. Because I'm not gonna pretend like I'm perfect. I've probably said some things or done some things, and there's probably some woman out there who's pissed at me anyway. But I am, trying to progress, get better, learn more, and all of that stuff, and
Hmm.
definitely look at different perspectives and whatever, which is something anime teaches you really well. So stop looking at it as kiddie stuff. But anyway,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, definitely, just for me, I just feel like was this that character? It was just annoying, and people always think that I'm talking about it because of power. No, she just never grew up, in my personal opinion. She just stayed the
Yep.
same for years. Whereas Naruto and Sasuke, at least they changed. So that was the worst thing for me. Like Hinata does way more with the little screen time that she has. And even though her fault is that her progression is centered around Naruto, I'm just saying at least there's a North Star. At least there's her moving forward. She gets more skills, she becomes tougher as a person, she gains like mental resilience, things are happening with her versus Sakura,
Hmm.
who's still just the same. So yeah, team Hinata all the way, Naruhina all the way.
Hmm.
So I also wanted to ask, do you have any other anime that you're rocking right now or that you like?
The number one anime for me, because a lot of people know I love my mecha anime, Super Robot Wars Original Generation.
Hmm,
That anime tops all animes that I have seen. Every singular one.
I've never heard of
Everyone.
this. Can you tell me what goes on?
Um, So, long story short, it's basically the future. Everybody is fighting each other in ginormous robots. There was actually one point in time where I think a lady named Excellent Browning and then Kyosuke Nanbu. There was a time where Kyosuke basically had turned evil and basically set the world afire. And then when you actually go back in time, because we're looking at his future self at the moment. Back in time, Kyosuke basically is working for this organization where there is this crooked sergeant in the organization who basically tries to kill him. And all events basically lead up to him seeing his future self and battling his future self. So basically, you have the Eins clones. They basically get, how should I say it? Future Kyosuke basically clones the current people who are in the robots, and then they basically have an all-out war in the end. It's crazy, it's sick. I
Can
highly
can you just tell
recommend
me the
it.
name? I need to check this out. That sounds amazing.
Super Robot Wars Original Generation. I found out that as a kid, when I first saw it, I saw the second season, which I was pissed off on because it's like, oh great, now I have to start all over from the first season, and then I had to go back to the second season again. So
That
um
that sounds
just
amazing. Thanks for putting me on. That
yeah,
sounds awesome. Because I don't know if you ever watched the Megas.
absolutely.
I don't know if you ever watched Megas XLR by any chance. Did you happen to catch that on Cartoon Network?
Megas XLR. I've heard of it, but I've never actually seen it.
Oh, if you're into robots, you should definitely check that out because it's basically like mecha anime with wrestling moves.
Oh,
It is so, and it's like a lot of meta humor, like a lot of Deadpool meta humor and whatever. So basically,
uh-huh.
we have three characters. It's Coop, it's Kiva, and it's Jamie. So the way the cartoon starts, basically, it's not too much of a spoiler. So Kiva is fighting aliens from the future, and she needs to save this robot. So she ends up taking it back to the past, and it ends up in a junkyard, and it gets picked up by Coop and Jamie and whatever, and then they end up fighting like an alien race in the past or whatever to save the future. It's really hectic and it's really funny. It's not as serious as it sounds. Like there's a lot of comedic stuff about it, and practically, like I will say this: if Michael Bay managed to get some writers and get his hands on it, it would be the perfect Transformers in his vision because he loves blowing stuff
Hmm.
up already. So they blow up stuff all the time in that cartoon. It is hilarious.
I wish there were more movies where shit would blow up. I'm gonna put it to you this way. I hate chick flicks. I hate romance movies. It's like the Tyler Perry stuff and all of that. I can
Diary of a Mad
totally,
Black
let's put it
Woman.
this way. I can totally get behind like Tyler Perry and all like the Black Maid movies, but in terms of action movies and stuff, I'm an action movie type of girl. I cannot stomach a movie that will have me falling asleep in the theater. I need to see shit blow up. I need to see car chases. I need to see ass whooping scenes. I need all the action that keeps me on the edge of my seat. There was one movie that starred Morris Chestnut. So, long story short, in this movie, um, he's trying to basically go on with his pregnant or non-pregnant wife because she's infertile. So they basically choose to get a
I
surrogate
think I've
mom.
seen
And of
this.
course, and it's like me and my sister went to see it. I had no interest in it whatsoever. I was basically multitasking, thinking, trying to get myself through the movie. It's like, what am I having for dinner tonight? What's can I do for Christmas? I wonder what next
Well,
cosplay
I
I'm doing.
mean,
So I'm
Tyler
trying.
Tyler's got some action-packed movies. If you watch Acrimony, the only action is that you never understand why anything is happening. Like only in Tyler Perry land will you get in an accident that will only affect your ovaries. Like the rest of your body is fine, but the ovaries are the ones that didn't survive the car crash. I'm like, wait, what?
I mean, I have, okay, on a real note, I have seen some instances where I have heard in the medical community that things like that do actually happen.
Oh,
Um, Basically, your body can be so traumatized to a point where it can kill off something within yourself, something that is most definitely needed, but cannot be used anymore because of that trauma and that stress that that body suffered at that point in time. So, yeah, things like that actually do happen.
oh, okay. The thing is that I saw a car crash and it was like a pileup or whatever, and I was just like, so she's not got no scratches or anything. Like, it looked like it was a bad accident. So I thought she would have been.
Hmm.
I thought something physical would have happened, but I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I don't know if you ever saw Acrimony, which a lot of people didn't. I'm suspecting, but Acrimony was one of those movies where it's action packed and stuff that doesn't make sense. Like I don't know if you care about spoilers or whatever for Acrimony.
I don't care. I'm not even going to be seeing this movie
Well,
anyway.
yeah,
Go on.
Taraji P Henson, the fine and beautiful Taraji P Henson, is in that movie, and what she does is basically she's kind of like a serial killer. Well, not a serial killer. She falls in love with this dude. This dude makes her lose a lot of money, and then he like pays her back, but then she still wants her revenge. Like she wins the lotto basically, and he pays her what he owes her, and then she's still like, "But I will have my revenge." I was like, "Wait, that doesn't you can't win the lotto and get paid and then still be angry and want revenge. That doesn't make it doesn't make sense."
According to her, you can.
And then at the end, like she chases the man down to a boat with his new wife or whatever, and no one explains how she gets on the boat. She gets on the boat's at sea and it's in the dark somewhere. And she gets on the boat with this white dress and she is dry, bone dry, like she was on the beach. And they knock her off. and they knock her off the boat, right? They knock her off the boat, and then she gets back on the boat, but her hair is still done well. The dress is still clean. She's still skin dry. I was just like, wait, so she's a superhero now? That's basically she can fly. Like that's what you're telling me, Tyler Perry. Like we dealing with superpowers right now because there is no way she can fall into the water and come back out as pristine as possible. So I was like, yeah, if you like action packed for nonsense, Tyler Perry's your guy.
Hmm. That's one of the reasons why I haven't really dove into his movies as of late, just for the fact that it doesn't really trigger the excitement in me. So it's like, nah, I'll just give you a break, Mr. Perry. But yeah,
And as a
heading back
dark
onto
skinned bro, I
subject.
don't. As a dark skinned nigga, I don't like it when the dark skinned dude is always the bad guy. Like, can we be the good guy sometimes, Mister Perry?
Exactly my point. So it's like, yeah, for me, I cannot stand romance. I cannot stand, I guess I can say anything that deals with like mushy lovey junk. I need to see that action pack shit. I this is one of the reasons why when I have certain conversations about action movies with people, the conversations can go on for hours, just for the fact that I am not into chick flicks at all. I hate them. I cannot stand them. They put me to sleep in the
A
theater. They
lot of them
do.
are formulaic though. Also, it's like, oh, dude meets. It's like you can tell, you can tell as soon as the movie opens because even the trailer it kind of shows everything. It's like they meet, it goes well, they break up, and then they get back together at the end. It's like, oh, all right, okay,
Basically.
whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. I don't like I love a good movie. Like if you got a good movie with good characters and all of that stuff, I can be invested. But a lot of the times the stuff is generic, and I'm just like, really, really. He found her favorite book. Really, they go to the same restaurant. Really, like okay, okay.
Mhm.
And a lot of these movies get people messed up because dudes think now grand gestures like I love that thing in a movie where this chick is getting on a plane and he comes running and he's like, "Don't go, stay here." And then she's like, "I'll stay." It's like, "Didn't you spend money on a ticket, ma'am?"
A
you can't
non-refundable ticket
you
at
can't
that.
be at the terminal talk about I'm good. Oh, like really? You're just gonna ditch all of that money and possibly a job opportunity for a dude. I tell you now,
Hmm.
I tell you now, I fall in love with a girl. If I gotta move country, you love me, we going together, or you're staying here. Like I'm not missing that plane ticket for nobody.
Hmm.
So I quickly wanted to talk to you about working out and all of that stuff. Since you do it a lot, I've seen a lot of your posts or whatever. You are looking very beastly. Are you planning to compete in like the Miss Olympia stuff?
Um, I would love to compete in the Miss Olympia, but what I actually am wanting to do in about 3 years, which of course gives my body enough time to progress and to get cut and such, I want to do the bikini figure first and then the actual figure after if my body progresses along. So my plan is yes, I would most certainly love to compete one day. Um, I mean, technically, right now, if I was to cut, I could, but I want to progress a lot further. And also, as well, hopefully around that time, COVID lifts and we don't have to wear masks on the stage where we're doing the posing routines and stuff.
Well, yeah,
So that's a hope for me.
it looks like it's a lot of work because I work out too, and I have like UMF, UMF. I have MMA coaches or whatever. UMF is the gym where I train, and I have MMA coaches, and that's some of the hardest stuff I've ever done in my entire life. You, it
Mhm.
makes you love water. You like if you ever want anybody to drink 6 cups of water a day, make them work out intensely for 1 hour. They will get their water in. Trust me, because I've lost so much weight. Like I think I lost weight on accident at some stage. Like I was 61 and I had dropped to like 58 kgs. It was some like insane drop because I was there consistently training freaking hard. So yeah, exercise
Mhm.
is no joke. Exercise is like no joke. Like for me, it's always that thing of I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, I'm always like when I'm in the middle of the exercise, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And then when I get out and I pose in front of the mirror and I'm like, yeah, I'm awesome.
Hmm. You got to get that pump in order to even earn that moment of standing in front of the mirror. You have to get your workout in.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm like, I like when people complain, like a lot of people complain about dudes taking off their shirts, like actors and stuff, taking off their shirts and stuff. I never complain because I'm like, do you know what it took to get there? I swear,
Hmm.
if I look like Henry Cavill under this shirt, I'm going to the bank shirtless. Like I'm going to the bank
Yeah.
with shirtless. I'm going to the grocery store shirtless. I'm everywhere. Everywhere I'm just going to be shirtless. You are going to see all of these six packs.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, and at the same time, if you're not in that shape, I understand. I totally get it because it's hard. The only thing I will say is own it. Don't tell me about thyroid gland and don't tell me about I have a condition. Just own it because when you don't own it, that's when people can get to you. But when you own it, no one has anything against you.
I mean, let's put it this way. It's like I used to be a lot skinnier than I currently am. And it's like, just like a lot of other people, I used to complain a lot. I used to say, oh, I don't like the way I look. I wish I could do something. But it's like I finally got to a point in time where I stopped complaining and I actually started doing. Why are you, as a person who says that you do not like the way you look, why do you say that you don't like the way you look, but yet you have the physical power to change it? Do not complain, knowing full well that you have the physical power, physical capabilities to change the way you look. It's the thing that's a big pet peeve of mine. It's like people who complain about the way they look, but yet they don't actually go through all the work to make those changes. That's a big pet peeve of mine.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, for
usually,
me,
when
I'm like either way. Like commit to it or change. Like
exactly,
if you're fat and you like being fat, that's cool. But like
absolutely.
don't be looking at me like, oh man, you so lucky you skinny. This ain't luck. This is a lot of
This is hard work. This is hard work, which you do not plan on putting in.
there's so many times I've been in the gym like, yo man, can time out, take five, and they're just like, nope, we gotta keep going. Come on. Uh, and my coaches they it's the craziest thing because my coaches it's like training with the Hulk and Bruce Banner. Like Bruce Banner, he's smiling at you, he's so nice. Then the clock changes and they're all like, "Ah, push-ups, sit-ups, run, lift, kettlebells, go, squat, and you're just like, what the hell happened? I thought we were friends.
We're not friends no more, bitch. Now give me 10.
Literally, like if I ever wanted to go to the military, I would just train with them for like 2 years and I would be in the most pristine physical shape. That's how hardcore they go.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I definitely can co-sign on that, especially for anything, not even just working out, like just life in general. Wherever you at, if you're complaining a lot of the time, try and make some real efforts to get to where you want to be. Like for me, I'm
Exactly.
a dude, like I complain but I get it done. Like if it's something I don't like, I'm gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna also get out of it. It's not
Oh,
just
so
gonna
you're one
be
of those dudes who are just like, okay, I'll do it, but I'm not gonna like it.
yeah. Yep. Like I hate washing dishes, but I'll wash them dishes and I'll complain the entire time. Like this is some bull. Can't believe
Basically.
it. You got me here washing all these dishes. The dishes are done. They see the kitchen is clean. But I hate like but stuff that I don't like to do. If I need to get it done or if I need to change my situation, best believe I'm gonna make a plan to get it done. Like that's a big thing in my family. That's a big thing with my parents. They had to go through a lot of stuff, as most black parents had to go through a lot of stuff, because South Africa and history that people don't want to talk about. But anyway, yeah. Just to give you some context, my dad was. I don't know if you heard of apartheid or whatever. That's basically our thing, like civil rights
Mhm.
struggle in America and in the North Americas and all of that stuff. That's practically our equivalent. And my dad was there during that time and all of that stuff before 1995, when people were getting kicked out of restaurants for being black. Like literally, that was it. So yeah, he
Mhm.
was there when all of that stuff was going down. Mm, it's fun dinner conversations. But anyway, yeah, but basically he's like, I'm gonna make a plan and I'm gonna get it done, and he did, and I'm living pretty well because of that. So I'm gonna carry that tradition forward. So this has been fantastic. I think we've done an hour and a half, or almost an hour and 40, or whatever. This has been actually fantastic. I have not, I didn't know, I didn't notice or feel like you didn't have a lot of energy. So I want to say thank you for staying on so long, and thank you for gracing us with your wonderful presence and your wonderful stories and energy. And thank you for finally, as a female, co-signing how I feel about Sakura, because I don't want to hear it that I'm a man. That's the reason why I'm talking about Sakura like that. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Y'all
These,
know this.
let me tell you something. These females are too, their heads are too far in their asses to even understand. The ones that think like that are usually the ones who are in abusive relationships and won't leave their man because they love them or we have kids together. It's just like, you may
Leave.
love him,
Leave.
you may have his kid, but leave.
Go.
In order to
Run.
have some form of sanity, you see that door? Yeah, you go through that door and leave his ass here.
You can take
Mm.
the kid with you, or you can figure something out. You don't have to be with it. Go. Leave.
One can be loved or one can love, but not at the expense of someone's own safety. If a man were to even try and put his hands on me, oh Lord, huh? Hmm.
I saw the finger and it went down. I was like, yeah, he did.
Yeah, basically. It's either he's dead or I'm leaving him. All I have to do is look him dead in his face and walk out the door. I
I'm
would
just
leave all my things
I
in the house.
I just wish a lot
I
of
would.
I wish a lot of women had that mentality who were in abusive relationships. Because I mean, yeah, it's for me, it's definitely safety first. I'm not somebody who wants to negotiate my safety. Like if I'm in a dangerous situation, we can talk about it later. Let me get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like even with me and racism, I'm not here to educate people who don't want to be educated. You don't want to talk, have a
Mm,
nice day. If you want to talk, we can make a plan. But if you trying to put me in danger, I ain't here to be like, yeah, look, maybe we can. Now I'm gonna knock you out or I'm gonna leave. Like that's how I roll. So, and
mm-hmm,
definitely, if you like, let this be a stamp upon Meisterville right now. Shogun Steel will be a witness. If if you need to go, leave. Like just leave. Don't put yourself at risk, because then they don't really love you, and you need to love yourself before you love somebody else. And if you love yourself, you're gonna get yourself out
mm-hmm.
of a bad situation. I ain't nothing
You as
worse.
a person are important. Self
Yes.
importance comes first before anything else. That's what I usually say to people who have been in a situation where they don't feel how they should feel in terms of loving oneself. It's like you need to put yourself in a situation where you are loving yourself before you share that love with anybody else. That's usually what I tell people because you can't attempt to love someone and have no love for yourself whatsoever. That just does not work at all. And of course, as perfect as the other person can be, as much as they love you, they will notice it and eventually they will start to stray. And I'm seeing it happen to a lot of people. And I hate to see it happen to anyone else. Let's put it this way: death, yes, it's horrible, but not as horrible as some of these relationships I've seen. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been in a bad relationship myself. I would not wish a bad relationship on anyone. Unless you're my ex and I wish you dead 6 feet deep in the ground. That's another story. But even so, death is too easy of a way out. That's why I wish misery on him for the rest of his life.
Yes,
So,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, misery, yes, yes.
Mhm. And I say that while drinking coffee with my pinky high in the air.
The Mr. Evil Pinky. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just want to definitely say that. And Meisterville, Meisterman, me, I'm definitely here for supporting women and talking to women and engaging as a man and doing what I can to change the situation. Because I don't like unfairness anywhere. Like, I can't, especially
Hmm.
as a black man, I can't fight racism and then look at sexism and say, no, that doesn't exist. No, no, no. No, the logic doesn't make sense. How can you see that but you don't see this? That
Hmm.
doesn't. that doesn't compute in my brain. Like I literally shut down. Like I look at bros and I'm like, wait. So you can see white man, but you can't see no no, it's the same language, it's the same language. Like if you look at it, it's the
Mm-hmm.
same language. Maybe she shouldn't wear that, or maybe his hair shouldn't be that way. It's the same thing. Like it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like she should not be so suggestive, he should not be so aggressive when he walks the street. I'm like, you sound exactly the same. So it's this, like, I'm not definitely conflating issues. I'm just saying if you fight in one, you have to fight the other as well. That's how I operate anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ugh, I made it so political. Man, I'm on a watch list somewhere. I'm on a watch list somewhere. Somewhere somebody is looking for me. All right. Well, before they get here, with that being said, is there any last words you have for Meisterville before we get out of here?
Stay in school, kids. Don't do drugs. Avoid fuckboys. Those are the last words.
Is that the tagline? Ba, 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 ba. Stay in school,
Mhm.
don't do drugs, avoid fuckboy. Okay, great list, great list. And with that being said, me, Meister Man, and Miss Shogun Steel Lisa Robinson has to be out. All right, peace.